So finally, it's the end of 2024, and just like last year, I'm going to be doing the top 10 weapons, well, of 2024. This took me a while to make, and this wouldn't have been possible without Aussie PG3D. He helped me a lot with this video, so shoutouts to him. I'll leave him in the link in the description, but as well, there's also a couple of disclaimers I'm gonna leave. First of all, the weapons I'm gonna be listing off are not how they are right now, but how they were in their prime. So for example, like a weapon that was nerfed now, I'm gonna be counting it when it was at its prime. As well, these weapons are not exclusively released in 2024 like I did last year, so could just be a weapon that was buffed in 2024 but released, like for example, like in like 2021 or something like that. So yeah, enough dilly-dallying, let's get right into the video. So for the number 10 spot is going to go to the Soul Angler. Now the Soul Angler was released in the 24.9 update 2 or 3 updates ago, and this is one of the newer snipers that came out, and wiki damage, it does 164 body shot with 230 headshot damage. Now the reason why it's on this list, because its spread isn't as bad as others. Its lifesteal in the Soul Angler is actually really good because it also applies to armor. Nothing really much else to say. It's just a great sniper that came out this year. It's not as great as some others on this list, but it definitely deserves a spot. The number 9 spot is going to go to the Cyber Lantern. My bad for the pretty dookie gameplay in the background. My laptop is not doing so good, so I'm running like a good 30 to 20 FPS now. So the reason why the Cyber Lantern is at the number 9 spot is because this thing is a one-shot, and I mean that it is always a one-shot. I believe if you have level 8 and above mods, it will quite literally always one-shot. This thing does kind of have the trade-off of having a tiny fixed delay. So yeah, it was one of those weapons that was buffed this year, and it's just an overall great special, and I just think the trade-off is worth it. So the number 8 spot goes to the Arctic Soul Devourer. I've gone through trauma when it comes to this freaking weapon. This thing does the damage of a decent sniper, around 140 to 150 damage body shot and 200 damage headshot, and it has instant shot, so it will there's no travel time in the weapon at all, and it has gravitational force, which stops you from moving completely, and it has freaking weakening, which is so much more annoying. And then on top of all of that, it has lifesteal, which is probably the most annoying combo you can see, and I'm so glad they nerfed this thing, but it still is kind of a terror in Team Strike. So for the number 7 spot is a meta we can all infamously remember. It was one of the most obnoxious freaking weapons. It's of course the Wave Pulsar. When his DLC skin came out, it was so cracked out because they buffed it, and it became a one-shot like 110 freaking % of the time. It was always a one shot, and I did not like when people used it because it was so cracked out of its mind. In Pixel Gun, I don't know how they let this thing slide. Just imagine you're just chilling in pool party, and all of a sudden these massive AoE freaking walls just come flying at you. So for the number 6 spot is going to go to the Bloody Mercenary. Now this thing took 3-cast spamming by storm when it first came out. It was the first ever 3-cast spammable backup that had higher damage than I believe Sparkling Horn when its critical damage hit, and that was insane because its fire rate was very high with absolutely no delay at all. So this thing was practically effortless to use compared to something like Sparkling Horn where you had to have just a little bit of like delay knowledge just to use it. But this thing, no, you could just switch it to anything and it would literally one shot every single freaking time with its critical damage. The number 5 spot, we have of course the number 1 spot that was last year, and it's still carried on into 2024. It is the Deadly Icicle, one of the most overpowered shotguns that came out in 2023, actually at the end of the year, and it wreaked havoc in freaking 2024. Currently right now it has 158 body shot damage and 221 headshot damage. Makes it seem like it should have fixed delay, but it doesn't. It actually has input and output delay. It's actually pretty decently long range for a shotgun, and then it also has weakening, which gets super annoying because you can't do damage to somebody who's like literally spamming you with like one of the highest fire rate shotguns with a huge amount of damage. Just makes no sense. The even crazier part is that the skin that I'm using in this clip actually removes a delay, which adds on to like the freaking overpoweredness of the weapon. For the number 4 spot is a little bit of a curveball, but I think it deserves the number 4 spot. It is the Howl of the Mummy. Now the Howl of the Mummy, it was buffed not too long ago actually, and it made it one of the most overpowered heavies in the game, making it a better version of the Cyber Lantern just in the heavy category. Total of 169 base damage. It's another weapon that has the weakening ability, which is always really annoying. This thing has a very quick fix delay as well, so it doesn't always really like mess with your gameplay. I just feel like it being in the heavy category is a lot more convenient than it being in the special category compared to something like Cyber Lantern. You could use something like Laser Bouncer Revolver or Necklace of the Ice King. Nothing much else to say about this weapon. It is one of the best heavies that came out this year, and it definitely deserves a spot. So finally, we are on the big three, the top 3 weapons of 2024. So for number 3, it is of course the Winner's Laser Beam, one of the most popular snipers of 2024, just because of how hard it was to obtain. And that's kind of what brings it down to number 3. This thing of course is still one of the best snipers though. It is one of, I believe, like just a handful of weapons that have both X-ray and wall break, making it very OP, so you just camp around and get kills through walls. Also has very high damage, total of 171 body shot damage and 240 headshot. That's insane. The best part of it is that its electroshock effect is probably one of the most obnoxious effects in the game. This thing practically removes your sensitivity, just giving you a much slower sensitivity, just ruining how you can play. Of course, one of the most overpowered snipers, only with the drawback of it being really difficult to get, I mean if you don't mod. But yeah, if you do own it, you just know how good this sniper is. The number 2 spot of course is going to go to my least favorite weapon this year, the Rusted Revolver. I hated this weapon with a passion just because of how annoying this weapon's stats were and its abilities. A weapon that would give you barrier, practically making you invincible, and then not only that, head enlargement that would make you a super easy target with a really high damage backup. And that was the most annoying combination ever, just because of when I streamed, people would just be spamming this weapon just to be freaking annoying. And yeah, I have really bad experience with this weapon. Finally, for the number 1 spot, it goes to the Noble Porcelain. Yeah, the Noble Porcelain was by far the most overpowered weapon. It would not only heal you 100% just by reloading, this thing would do more damage than Winner's Laser Beam does now, doing around 190 body shot freaking damage. That's insane. That is one of the highest sniper damages. Not only that, you also have 10 ammo per magazine, so that's a lot of freaking ammo that you can use before reloading. By far the best sniper of this year, there's no argument about that. So that's gonna be it. What do you guys think of this year's list of the best weapons? What would you guys put differently? Again, thank you to Ozzy for helping me with this video. If y'all enjoyed, like and subscribe would be appreciated. That's really it. I'll catch y'all on the next one.